Well, Twitter is banning all political ads on its platform ahead of the 2020 election. Its CEO, Jack Dorsey, tweeted yesterday, while internet advertising is incredibly powerful and very effective for commercial advertisers, that power brings significant risk to politics, where it can be used to influence votes to affect the lives of millions. Errol Barnett reports on why the movement is significant.
We've made significant progress recently.
In response to growing backlash about hosting political ads, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey took an all-encompassing stand against them. A political message earns reach when people decide to follow an account or retweet, he wrote. We believe this decision should not be compromised by money. But Facebook's decision to not censor politicians, even at the risk of spreading misinformation, faced scrutiny on Capitol Hill last week.
I think lying is bad, and I think if you were to run an ad that had a lie, that would be bad.
So you won't take down lies, or you will take down lies? I think it's just a pretty simple yes or no.
In a democracy, I believe that people should be able to see for themselves what politicians that they may or may not vote for
so
are
you
saying,
won't take them
judge
down.
their character for themselves.
Zuckerberg doubled down on that point in an earnings call yesterday.
In a democracy, I don't think it's right for private companies to censor politicians or the news.
Democrats largely praised Twitter's policy shift, while Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale called it, quote, yet another attempt to silence conservatives.
Twitter is doing this because Twitter is a platform that is so closely aligned with news and politics.
Sarah Fisher is a media reporter for Axios and says the decision is not about money, but sending a message that certain types of free expression can do more harm than good.
So many people were abusing the system, lying in ads. They were very hard to regulate. And I think that it's doing what it thinks is best for its community.
Now, Fisher also told us Twitter feels it must regulate its own content since there's no federal oversight and it's not tied to the same rules and regulations as broadcast networks, which must publish all ads regardless of whether a candidate lies. The new policy goes into effect November 22nd. Errol Barnett, CBS News, New York.
For more, I want to bring in Nick Thompson. He's a CBS News contributor and editor-in-chief of Wired. So, Nick, why do you think Twitter came to this decision?
I think they came to this decision because it's a way to look good without taking any financial risk for the company. So they make an announcement, and Dorsey's statement was excellent. His Twitter thread was excellent. But there's actually no revenue attached to it, so it's a costless stand for something that most people who use Twitter love. So that's maybe a slightly cynical read. The less cynical read would be political ads, lead to distortion, can lead to distortions, and so let's just get rid of it.
So Jack Dorsey says the company will reveal the final policy by November 15th, and that includes a few exceptions. What do you think those exceptions might be?
Well, there are some really hard questions embedded in this, right? So let's say I start a climate change organization, and the best way to reach people is by amplifying my message on Twitter, and I raise a little bit of money, and I want to promote my climate change organization to fight climate change, right? Should that be banned? And so I think Dorsey's going to go through and say, okay, well, maybe issue advocacy is okay, or maybe this issue advocacy that doesn't cross these lines is okay. So there probably will be some areas, or maybe there'll be a subset of ads like that just links to websites that are totally anodyne that he will allow. I'm not sure.
So, this is all coming amid Facebook, which has come under fire recently for allowing all political ads, even ones with false or misleading claims. Do you think that Twitter making this decision is a game changer? Will it have to force Facebook's hand on this, or do you think they continue on?
No, I think Facebook continues on. I mean, I think Facebook's position is incorrect, right? My optimal position is the one that neither company has, which is to allow political ads, but to remove ones that are obviously misleading and maybe penalize ones that get close to the line. So that's Nick's position. But Nick's position doesn't matter. Facebook's position is solidified. Zuckerberg on earnings said, no, we're standing by it. It really does not look like he's going to back down on his stand, which, given all the heat he's taking, I give him credit for boldness, even if I disagree with his position.
Speaking of you disagreeing, you actually tweeted that Twitter and Facebook are both wrong. What do you mean by that? And what do you really think is the best policy that they should take?
Right. So right now we're in this kind of heat storm where everybody hates political ads because they think about political ads and they think, oh, my God, it's Donald Trump lying about Joe Biden. And that has framed this conversation, and it's made everybody up in arms and wants to get rid of these things. But what can political ads do? They're actually a relatively inexpensive way for small candidates to challenge well-funded incumbents. If you can't buy television ads, you can't buy billboards, you can buy micro-targeted ads on Facebook or even regular targeted ads on Facebook, reach an audience, build your campaign, and have a shot against a well-funded opponent. So I think there's real value to political ads. So you have to weigh that value against the fact that social media conversations, news on social media, is becoming toxic, polluted, untrustworthy. And so in my ideal scenario, you would allow small campaigns or all campaigns to advertise on these platforms, but you would also set up algorithmic and human review to make sure obvious lies aren't getting out there and even things that are misleading are slowed down.
Well, Nick, it is certainly complicated. No easy solution. Otherwise, it would have been fixed by now. So I want to thank you so much, Nick Thompson, for joining us to break this all down and make sense of
Thanks,
this.
Rita.
Thank you.